Hello there, you. Yes, you. You're watching VALORANT Regional League of Northern Europe Polaris. And you didn't expect you didn't expect to be here. I messed it up, Kremer. I messed it up.
That's
Anyway, nobody expected to be here. That's the concept. Nobody expected to be here. We're seeing a third map where H2O has taken down Team Finest's home ground, but we're seeing also Team Finest bouncing back and punching H2O where it most hurts. And now we're looking at the deciding matchup that is all going to be decided on Ascent.
You also don't expect us to break the fourth wall either, so here we are. And of course, moving on to Ascent, I believe that Finest have an ever so slight advantage moving into it. Now, H2O, let's be honest, had the best veto they could ever possibly want. And so because of that, Ascent is definitely not a done deal. However, considering the, let's be honest, ruthless way Finest are able to put down H2O over on Bind, I can't help but going into this series ever so slightly apprehensive as to whether or not H2O can recover. We look at the agent selections, and the main thing I want to highlight here is that Killjoy coming out from Finest on Machina. Personally, Pavlos, I really don't like Killjoy at the moment. I think she's a little bit too static. However, it can be wielded to some ruthless ferocity. And on top of the fact that using this lockdown as a fake is something we've seen time and time again.
So I think there's some elements of this puzzle that are missing. Killjoy on Ascent, I think, is where Killjoy becomes most viable, which I do understand that pick, but I do want something to deter or sort of mess with their opponents' movement, right? Whether that's going to be a Fade, whether that's going to be a Sage, whether that's going to be an Astra, they don't have that, right? So there's no pairing with those nanoswarms. They're simply there to just hold down and delay sights. Fair enough. But I would have liked that extra piece. Instead, they're trading that with the KO and the Shova, while also having Yassine on the Jet.
With both teams having the KO and the Omen as well, you do have that kind of extra layer of vision obscuration, you say, when it comes to both the flashes and the paranoia. However, to get into our opening round, H2O on the attack, all of them set their gaze to A with a very early push.
Very quick push as well, really not stopping for anything. Shock darts will be thrown at them, which means that Jaff has taken a bit of damage, but overall the spike will be going down, and the shock darts to deter it have dropped a little bit too late. So now we're looking at Finest looking to regroup. They haven't dropped a single player yet, but as soon as the wall breaks, it's Machina to die. Hadi looking to play aggressively here, and he's actually taking a far corner of the start cover, but it won't really matter because the rest of the team is starting to move in from heaven. Quickly dashing into that Cloudburst is going to be falling. Bonka holding onto his ground as he looks to push forwards, touching the spike to put H2O in a really difficult spot. Quickly finding one, make that a triple kill for Bonka, but that's all he's getting because the round is heading to the H2O nonetheless.
Goes really strong in H2O's favour here. I love the fact that we saw Hadi with that shorty just dive into those smokes to remove any flank that could have potentially come from Tree. It meant that you're either watching your flank or you're watching straight in front of you. With Jaff then getting the flanking player, all three members of Finest, their locations known, and it was just a matter of when they went to the retake rather than where the retake comes from. And for H2O's point of view, it's just a matter of playing the bomb after that. The Finest now a round down. Remember, they lost the first two rounds over on Bind. That didn't actually change anything. They still dominated the rest of the map. Whether or not that's the same affair here may be indicative as to how successful this anti-eco is for H2O.
Yeah, I mean, the previous matchup for Finest didn't go too bad either, right, in regards to the retake. So not really succeeding on the first retake on Ascent so far is a good note for H2O. And of course, they'll be able to start things off nicely. Paranoia, it seems like it may have been seen by Kicks, and it's going to get punished as well. That could be a simple collected weapon. Look how far deep the spike is, though. It really shouldn't be there, but thankfully Faking an Ass for his team has gathered the kill and opened up the round. Vandal collected for Bonka, though, looking to find some more damage. Looks to drop back and rejoice with his teammate first before they look to take on more fights. Jaff is causing more pressure, though. Recombot will reveal his position, pre-fired by Jaff, and that's how the Vandal dies. Destructive, keeping things going, though. Unable to find a weapon, still has a shorty to work with. And the only way to maneuver is this TP. Closing up the distance. Of course, H2O want to extend it. Doesn't have any more TPs to work with. Just tries to hide in with under smoke. At least makes it a bit comical. But at the end of the day, it's still H2O to recover it.
Tell you what, though, Finest did way more damage than they probably should have there to kill 3 players on an anti-eco. Bear in mind that H2O went into this with the likes of Vandals, with Guardians. It was a very heavy investment for a bonus round. Yes, they retrieved both weapons, but that loss of Spectres is really going to be felt in the wallet, especially now on your bonus. With Finest, all of them wielding these premium weapons for H2O, go into this with a bit of a disadvantage. It was at this point Finest turned around fine. Will they do so again now on a set?
Will they do just that? H2O, seen them pop off with Sheriffs. Alex no longer being on the Reyna, instead on that Sova instead. What an opening. Seems like Riyad has stepped up. You do see him pick up that jet occasionally, and when he does feel it, he performs. Faking an ass, getting a little bit too far to the step there. Walking through the smoke when Kicks is spraying down. That's how you end up losing a life. Bonka also open things up here. That's going to put Finest with the advantage. Paranoia maybe to delay and giving an opportunity for Alex to swing by, and that's the perfect chance to shut down Bonka. Now what do you do? We're 2-on-2, and you know where both players are, but that dark cover can give opportunity for Harry to reposition. Alex gets to peek through, but now the drop will commence. Starting to move across the smoke. Harry, what do you do? Getting to the right-hand side. Time is dwindling. Needs the kill. Alex finds his, but Machine on the other hand brings it for Finest. Spray down goes wrong for Alex. It's the bot to do it. It's the bot to save Finest's opportunity in this round.
Timmy Turret there, the player to terminate the final member of H2O. And what I'm interested in is the small hesitation we saw from, I believe, Alex there before committing to that duel. And it meant that the Killjoy was able to get the upper hand and win that gunfight. I'd have much rather seen Alex there wait for that spike to be tapped rather than force yourself into a fight, which Machine is expecting. Nonetheless, though, Finest to hit the first round. It's time for H2O to move through there, full by rifles on every player. A Bulldog, Guardian, and Judge in the arsenal of Finest. Not the best buy you could ever hope for, but in the hands of a master, anything is a weapon.
There. Grenade out.
Ooh, well, so apologies for that. Muted mic. Won't happen again, I hope. I swear.
Pinky promise.
I like the pinky promise. But still, very nice push there from the start. H2O hiding within their own smoke, and now they look to initiate the attack. Of course, Finest have got two defenders here, but can they account for this close right-hand side corner? Destructive finding one before he dies, but with Bonka falling low to health, he's going to wait for reinforcements to arrive.
Teleport backside as well is going to buy a little bit of space. More importantly, he's going to buy a little bit of time here. Machina peeks out, tries to do the damage he can, however, follow it up.
Scene. Looking to spray down here. Oh, what a drop. Now we're looking at Yassine on a 1-on-2, and he's shorn it down to a jaw. You don't often see a dash come in from Yassine, but he's committing to it. Throws in another cloudburst to finish off the job, but Faking an Ass is able to find him in time. Down that got close, but H2O come out on top.
Doesn't matter if it's close for H2O, what matters is they won it. Look at the money of Finest. They cannot survive this war of attrition. They have to drop down to Sheriffs. However, for H2O, there is room for some Spectres here. Riyad with the Blaze Storm available. Alex and Jath both with the Hunter's Fury and Tord, of course, are going to be the main weapons on the field. However, I really don't want to see them used this round, particularly against pistols. For Finest, if they can force out these ults, then they are in a great position to set themselves up for the buy round. After this, they've already got the null command, they've already got the lockdown. The Scene and Destruction both one away from their abilities as well. Riyad with the Blaze Storm, fast on the flank, Machina falls, and now he's on a bit of a hunt.
Speedy Gonzalez. He's going right after him, and he wants in for more. Bonka, though, will be able to find himself the backline. Riyad doesn't care. That's a classic shot to find the kill. And by the end of it, H2O come out on top without dropping a single player.
I won't lie to you, Pavlos. I don't know how I feel about H2O committing both the Hunter's Fury and the Blaze Storm to that round. I understand the Blade Storm, because you're not going to have a weapon and risk losing anyway. But for Alex, I'd have much rather seen that Blade Storm or that Hunter's Fury held onto, potentially to cancel the lockdown, which we're going to be seeing this round, if the situation requires it, from Finest.
I wonder how far H2O can take this momentum, man. Before Finest have a chance to come back. Bit of a more passive approach. They've gone very, very quick so far. They make me bite my words because Alex, that was super aggressive by him.
And it pays off as well. We're going to see more of it. Now it pays off. H2O have that confidence. And look at Alex, he keeps pushing! Bonka, he can't even risk peeking out here. The Sova on Soma both being played like duelists here. Bonka hightails it. Hattie peeks in to Tree. He sees the location of both players, and now H2O with a lot of information to work with here. They know exactly how fighters will set themselves up. It's just a matter now of killing them.
Essentially, they split the map in two. They've isolated the defenders of the B site, and now they can circulate around them. Jaff is able to find the first one. Machina holding onto his ground initiates a lockdown. Alex will be able to catch them off guard, just like we said a moment ago. Splitting the map in two is how you blockade the rotations. The lockdown, of course, will be delaying it. That's distractive, going a little bit too aggressive here, as Jaff has a cross-side angle to work with. H2O on top, only dropping 2 that round.
5-1, a really strong start, and had lost. I don't want to say I'm worried, but maybe for Finest, it's time Yassine started killing people like he was doing over on Bind, because right now with pistols, with a Spectre, it's not a pretty position for Finest here. Yes, Yassine does have the Blaze Storm to rely upon, and for H2O, they have a tour de force. That's it in terms of ults for a good while now, but is the gunplay enough here? Bear in mind, Finest, they don't need to win the round, they just need to make it expensive.
Doesn't seem like they have the right amount of cards stacked up here, but it seems that the cards that they do have are pretty strong ones, suited perhaps. Can they perform the Royal Flush? Oh, they might be able to do so. Yassine's got aces up his sleeve, and now we're looking at a 2-on-2 with rifles to be recovered. And 2 very much isolated players for H2O. Oh, he doesn't know where he is, though. Oh, this is scary. Hattie. Neither. Not sure where Yassine is going to be coming from. Oh, right click from Yassine. They've turned it around. Oh, they've hit the home run. And now it's Jaffel by himself. We thought the only thing they could achieve this round was damage, but they were able to achieve a hell lot more than that. Unless Jaff can do something about this.
I'm trying to give the audio cues here. He's still wary about the player being from defenders here. There's no way he spams the 30 seconds left.
Oh, that's
the barrel of the gun. There's the opening. This suddenly becomes doable.
What a pre-fire on that wall.
30 seconds left.
On that box. And Kicks finds himself a Vandal. Oh, into the open. That got very risky. But still, it's Finest to come out on top, and no survivors for H2O.
Thrifty round from Finest, and there's that momentum. There's Yassine taking his instructions to heart. Yassine, go kill. All right, then. Brings out the operator this round as well, ready to continue that order. And for H2O, a couple of Vandals, the old Phantom in the mix. I'm interested to see how they'll wield this null command, which should be coming online this round. And someone pointed it out in the chat, and I absolutely agree with them. I'm really happy that H2O are no longer running the Sky and are instead running the KO.
Big adaptation. Especially when you're up against the lineup of Finest here. The Killjoy denying space, also disabling Yassine's dashes. As well as any movement in their direction. Can really open up avenues for them, and it has elevated their play in a sense as it seems so far. It's green. I saw the line of pings there, and it just made me think that's a top of the screen, but no, it's not. Destructive will be opening things up. Yes, it's just a simple mow down through the smoke. This worked out. Looking to buy their time though, Jaff is coming in from short, and it could be the extra caveat that they need. He's going to keep a lot of players from Team Finest busy while his team looks to wrap around elsewhere. We'll join him.
Joining him would be careful there, because Finest, they're already in a position now to stack the site, wait the attack. There's the opening. This may trigger the approach.
Destructive is so over-eager. And you're right, Bonka is so very low. Which means Yassine is called up to do the heavy lifting. Bonka, he needs to hit heads here. He is within that headshot range with Alex and Hattie faking and us not having full health, but he does end up falling. You see, has to be so impactful. Has to find a couple of kills, but no. Jaff, it's murder. The Machina with a telegraph position, handing Jaff the quad piece. It's not looking great for Finest. Not at all.
Really not. Don't get me wrong, the night is still very young. There is still time for Finest to come back and make this half look respectable. A 6-6 is nothing to turn your nose up at. However, we are in a position where H2O have some serious momentum. The money on Finest is absolutely ruined, and there doesn't seem to be much solution. I feel like if I'm on Finest, I want to see more of a bid for mid control, which is actually exactly what we see this round.
Map deployed.
Smoke coming out. Alex, very aggressive. Well, you kind of expect Finest to try and grab some early space. Go for something unorthodox. Ah! That's rough. Well, Bonk at least gets one. Not too bad.
Last player
Destructive
standing.
next to be challenged. Ah, that's a fake fruit in front of him. Tries to take out a bite out of it. Destroys the fruit, but ends up destroying himself as well.
So you're right, H2O 7-2 in the lead, and for Finest now, they do still have an ult advantage. Only a slight one though. Alex, one away from being able to bring out that Hunter's Fury to duel that of Bonkars. The main thing I want to see here is this Hunter's Fury duel. I think that's going to really be indicative as to how the round is played out here. H2O, they've done an admirable job at holding mid. Finest now, we may be starting to see a bit more of a concerted effort to just keep or even delay H2O's presence here with that operator on your scene.
Mid presence from H2O. Not too over-eager to get pushing through smokes, but as I do say that, they start to inch forwards together with the assistance of this Aldrin as they gain space and info. Coast is clear, they call. All is held down by that singular alarm bot. Place themselves deeply within Fury. Attempting to find info here. Maybe a tag. Ooh, that is crucial because if Jaff didn't get tagged there may be issues for Bonka, but no. Recovers just in time, falls back, and now Kicks is a little bit wary of that position. It seems they start to push towards this B site. Machina needs to hit that recon in time. Unable to find the shots onto Riyadh, though. We'll be opening things up here for the H2O side. And that's all that was defended by onto the B site. Looking to push through Riyadh there with a great crosshair position to keep things going destructive. He's got such a good backstab, but is it good enough? Oh, it's read by Alex, but the crossfire setup is better. Kicks looking to bring it back. A 2-on-3, not impossible. 3 on site for H2O, but an operator on your scene has to be how everything changes. There's a one-sided smoke set up for them, which is how your scene dies. Kicks keeping it close. Flash drive onto this side. Can he find it? 1 on site, 1 onto the back plat. Moving in. Drop. Hard, masking it with a bullet. Looking to drop below them, Hattie with the swing. It's how H2O deal with that one. And they continue with their winning streak.
It's turning into domination, Pavlos. Genuine domination here. And at 8-2, Finest, they're running out of recovery time. Even if they win the final 2 rounds of this half, 8-4s are still not a good scoreline, particularly when you're on the defensive ascent here. Finest, we see this first timeout get called. And I want to highlight that H2O haven't used a timeout once this series. Even when it was in overtime on map 1, they just didn't use one. So I like how they're using their confidence. I really do. Finest looking to put a bit more of a commitment to dictating pace. But with pistols, what can they do?
Not much. Not much. Are Finest getting 9-3'd like they 9-3'd H2O twice before? Is this what we're seeing? A topsy-turvy?
Potentially. And off the back of this timeout, I feel like Finest, what do you change? Because H2O, once again, even when we said we need to see Finest make a more concerted effort to hold mid, H2O have still been able to take it. They've still been able to shut down your scene. They've still been able to prevent Bonkar from reapproaching that angle. I want to see some form of change. I like the change in agent positioning.
I think what Finest are looking at right now is that they don't look like a refined unit. They don't look like one whole unit working together. They look like just a few separate players, separate agents doing their own thing. And H2O are able to deal with them one by one without any issues, just eliminating them little by little. We're seeing that taking place once again. They're seen taken out. Maybe there's a trade here for Bonka as they do start to emerge from that dark cover, but the side is theirs.
He was able to get away and buy a bit of space. Recon Dart is going to be hitting player back site. However, is there any way to shut it down? Bonka shot darts won't land.
Nothing much is landing for the Finest side right now. And they showed I don't mind. Talk about landing shots. Machina is able to make things a little bit more interesting from the shadows from behind. At least to clear out short a little bit.
One enemy remaining.
But Chaff is just going to shut that effort. That is perfect.
I love
Perfect
that so
calculation of aggression.
Yeah, so to bear in mind, lockdown's open, you know
Last
that no one's going to be
round
challenging you.
before the
Just
switch.
swings out, gets a kill, flicks out of there. And it's such an effect, it's such a smart play from Jaff as well. We saw on Sonic smart plays, on Icebox, his Viper was something to behold. This is, of course, accompanied by Alex's Rainer at the time, which also was just something unspeakably good. But at 9-2, here's the question, Pavlos. H2O, they know the power of the 9-3 curse. Do they allow it to happen here?
I mean, it's worked half of the amount of times we've seen it today, right?
Let's play. They're suppressed.
50-50. It's not some odds you want to be playing with. Yeah,
That's the one
odds are a
launcher
lot
rocket
less
on
than
50-50.
True.
Do you know what the
Let's
odds
see.
are on NASA launching a rocket?
I do not. No,
It's about
odds.
2.5%. So anything more, they won't do it.
Fair enough.
That's what trying to just deter H2O from getting tree control here. However, there's a lot of damage being exchanged.
Here.
It's not really favourable for Finest right now. Destructive with a good angle. Oh, it's all about timing. That's ahead. Just to go for another swing, but throws in Paranoia in time, but it's a little bit too off the mark. Which means Riyadh holds his position. No wraparound from Finest. Not being challenged towards the B site. Where all kills your utility lies. Riyadh starts to enter. Doesn't get a chance to use the dash. Walks in from the backline, infiltrates, kicks though, denies. 3-on-3. As Bonk ends up falling, kicks will have to fall as well as Shaft puts that tour de force to play. Finest are now on the back foot, and it seems they're wary of the backstab as well. All the timing. Machina, he hasn't been spotted, and he's able to find the kill as well. Yassine could have pushed by, but Hadi stops him. Machina, the whole team is relying on you right now.
Enemy remaining.
Ultimate available here. Hadi taken down. All down to Fake and an ass. One bullet. Machina falls back to reload. Sprayed on across, connecting their shot through the wall. Only one bullet is required anywhere on Machina's body. The side swing comes out. The Y swing. And H2O close out the half. Better than Finest were able to do on
Switching
any of the
sides.
previous two maps.
I am so impressed with Hadi on the relocation there. To go for the high ground on top of Generator means that when you see the peak from Yassine with that operator, there's no way he anticipates someone to be there. There's no reason for anyone to be there. But because Jaff dies to the flanker, they know it's going to be a while before they force out a gunfight. And it's H2O playing such a smart sense here. This is on top, of course, of this nasty shot which landed on Machina. There's the stray bullet as he peeks, dinks him, which unfortunately means going to a clutch with only 6 HP. Let's be honest, the odds aren't with you at all there. However, H2O 10-2 up, and for Finest now, pistols to be wielded. This is going to be the make or break. Finest Super Pistol around here, and they could very well lose a series against H2O.
Onto the A site they go. Finest with all to do. Cannot falter at all. No room for error. No margin for mistakes. Chaff completely shows up there. But he quickly gets taken out of the equation as well. Spike hasn't gone down yet. They have to go all the way back to retrieve it. And that shot that is just being a menace as well. Now they get it down. And Finest on the back foot with numbers.
Getting ready for Alex's recon up before they commit to the push here. So waiting to see if Finest aggress. If so, then from where Riyadh pulls his way forward. It's out Timmy Turret, his killer of the last pistol round. I'll be able to get the same success now.
Kicks. First shot coming in. But H2O, simply by playing the trade game, win out. And the fact that it's a pistol win on the second half when already being on 10 rounds, they're getting so close to closing out this series, man.
Remember, Pavlos, before the series even started, if I told you H2O was going to be Finest, you'd have laughed at me. Anyone here would have laughed at me. Our production crew would be doubled over in hysterics. We've got a great sense of humor. But for H2O, they've come out of nowhere.
Right here.
They've come out of nowhere and they have decimated Finest now. 1 away from map and series points, 2 away from that victory for Finest. 10 rounds in a row just to secure overtime. Their buy is not pretty, but they're going to have to make do with what they got. So they look to charge down Gaff alone with the judge, instantly finished off. That puts this to be an opening.
Minus are pretty good on do-or-die situations. Well, they weren't quite able to prove that on Icebox. They were able to do it now. Here, turnaround, the pride. They don't get eliminated from playoffs. This is just the regular season. No one goes anywhere. Whoever wins this, the standings don't change. Maybe first, second place. Things go as expected here for Finest. With better weaponry, although the enforcement came in from H2O, it means they'll be a little bit further behind as they enter the third round.
I don't want to say loss. I really.
It wasn't 9-3. It's no
sorry, you're right. What am I talking about? No 9-3. This is not a chance. It's over. All right, let's back up.
Yeah. Wow. Doesn't, the thing is, seeding first gets you started in playoffs by playing up against the 4th seed. While seeding second makes you play up against the 3rd seed in the first round of playoffs. It is double elimination, but it gets you to the lower bracket quicker if you play against the hardest team. But seeing how closely this region has been matched up against each other for the past 2 seasons, doesn't really make too much of a difference where you place. Top 2 seeds last time around went out quicker than anyone else. So let's see what happens here. EV5, H2O with lesser weaponry. Being baited towards that A site to keep clear of B. For good reason. It's a full-on wraparound, full-on control of a deep mid as well. Destructive is going to just have a little bit of fun here by slowing them down. There you go, that's the first, that's the second. Couple of dinkaroos. And that's the round for Finest.
Riyadh in mid, maybe a stray kill would be nice, and yeah, he's able to get one, but it's all a silver lining. Avlos's Finest make it 4. They continue a fair bit of momentum here. H2O though, now it gets interesting. The full buy comes out. I want to highlight the Guardian of the Cannon asset, purely because he's going to be taking that duel all the way over to outside of B main. I like how he's actually changed weapon for that. On top of Alex bringing out the Odin, of course. Why are you better to have? Why not? H2O winning against Finest, 11-4 up. Let's throw the Odin in there as well.
Here.
Not too bad of the call. I mean, it's Alex holding it. I'm not gonna deny him his glory moment by judging it. Excuse me, Hattie? Excuse me? Pinging the location of where everybody's standing. They're just gonna pre-fire it. Oh, that is incredible! Hattie, you're so smart! And just so good! Where was H2O this entire season?
They just got wiped out. They just got absolutely decimated. And for H2O, that'll be a 12-4 lead. Finest, what do you do? That ping from Hattie was masterful. Absolutely masterful.
Maybe it's a wake-up call for Finest. Maybe it's not them showing all their cards. Maybe it's them not caring because they've already made sure that playoffs is theirs. But H2O, this is about pride. This is about taking down the top dogs of this league.
Spike down.
And they're doing it in a fashion nobody ever would have thought of. 3-on-3 here. Hattie, that's super aggressive. But an angle that maybe could catch players off guard.
Machina now is the enigma. How effective can he wield this position? Coming up from shots.
Spike control is all under for H2O. It's a matter of reading positions first. I think Hattie is wary of it. That is from the shadows taking the spike down. Machina, yes, Hattie did spot him, which means they're working on a disadvantage. 2-on-3. And this is for H2O to close out the series. Info play with the from the shadows there.
That's perfect.
Paranoia at them. And they go. Oh, no command. But kicks on the sideline is there to stop them. That's the first Paranoia missing its mark there. Oh, faking an ass jumping in. He had trust in the Paranoia to connect there. But I believe a little bit too much trust. It seems at Finest are looking to hold on. There's nothing Hardy can do. He's got no time to do it. He's completely flashed as well. Kicks with a triple. A double triple, apparently, according to the kill feed. And there you go. Finest. They're just going to hold on for a little longer.
12-5. Pavlos. I'm gonna put you on the spot a bit here. Does the comeback happen?
No. Surely not, right?
You don't sound confident in that.
Who can be confident, Kremer? Are you kidding me? Are we watching the same game?
We are watching the same game. You didn't answer it. Does it happen?
No. I don't want to believe it does.
I want to believe in the H2O upset, to be honest. I'd much rather prefer believing in that.
Oh, true. It's already quite a banger.
It already is. This is some opening game! Opening game! For Riyadh.
The one which has no stakes, by the way.
Exactly! Riyadh on the close angle, destructive to worry about. Oh, the Aldro, there's the swing, there's the opening, and he gets away!
Gets away with it. I'm thinking Alas might be able to do the same thing as well. Oh, it's getting from bad to worse for Finest. And then now, lock between a rock and a hard place.
Back in the dice here, it's over.
Oh, they've found themselves in a pickle. Dash in, free fire. Riyadh. Knowing of the angle, calling for reinforcements. He's got it. Close up towards market. Yassine has to shoot it down. They know where he is, and he has been shot down. Make it a flawless, H2O. Let's see what you've got. Close out the season with a high, and I think they may be able to do that.
Left.
No issue whatsoever. Bonka, the final remaining player, and he's just walking into his death. A flawless round to close out this series. Who would have thought H2O shut down the supposedly best team in the league in a 2-1 fashion? What?
Wow. Wow. I mean, here's the thing from H2O. It wasn't like Finest weren't playing well. They really were delivering, and bear in mind, you look over to Bind as well. Finest had an immortal game, and it's such tenacity from H2O to recover from what was a stomping on Bind, then move to Ascent to rest, recuperate, go in with a composition we've never seen them run before, put Alex on the Sova, and still win!
I am amazed, and I'm sure everybody at home must be as well. Finest going in to playoffs with an Achilles heel that H2O have been able to find and take advantage of. Maybe Finest haven't shown all their cards. Maybe they know they had nothing to lose and went in this one to just chill. But this cannot be comfortable to lose up against one of the two teams that already had been relegated. That cannot feel good. And you cannot feel comfortable that Finest can simply close out this tournament with a high. It's not going to be an easy one. It has to be a redemption arc.
It has to be. And for Finest, there's... what do they change? You're about to hit players who just lost to one of the lowest rated teams in the league. And you lost in quite a one-sided fashion. Yes, it went to 3 maps, but look at the scoreline. Both Jaff and Riyadh had incredible games, and particularly Jaff, who's been consistent all series.
It's been crazy. Yeah, Jaff has really been consistent across the series, right? And I don't think he's a player that you will mention over and over again. He's not a guy that goes in for flashy plays, but he's always there, always able to connect the shots when it's most required, and I think he's done it today. Very well-deserved MVP. I think I could hand him the MVP of the series as well, because he had a solid performance all across the board.
It is either Jaff or Alex, right? I mean, Alex with that performance on Icebox.
True. You cannot forget about that one.
Yeah,
right. So strong. I mean, Faker and Nas had his moments as well. Everybody from H2O, you've got to give them props, and I would have loved to see them in playoffs, but that cannot be. Already, with too many losses, this is just them getting themselves to a second win. But at least that is 2 more than they had that previous season.
You're absolutely right, and I believe that doesn't make them safe. I think that for H2O, they're still going into the promotional tournament regardless, but doing so off of the higher beating Finest, I think for me says enough, right?
It really does, man. It really does. Oh, this is just crazy. It's just crazy. I do expect we'll be
Absolutely.
seeing an interview shortly, so don't go anywhere, folks. We'll just get notified on who that will be shortly. But
Fake
overall,
ananas.
faking an ass. Okay, not too bad.
Yep.
Not too bad at all. Would love to see that.
Absolutely. That'd be a fun interview. I'm really
The
looking
thing
forward to seeing
is,
what he says.
the thing is, Kremer, it's that we won't be able to see any more of H2O this particular season. I think everybody's just looking into the future now, seeing, okay, now that the main Riot events are sort of coming to an end, it's more coming into the international scale, maybe LCQ further on the line, and, you know, the main tier 2 sort of Valorant regional leagues are starting to come to a close. Of course, once the VCT, once the Valorant regional league playoffs comes to an end, what these teams will be trying to do. Obviously, there are going to be some third-party tournaments coming in, and that's exactly where this hype comes in, right?
Yeah.
Because they're looking to prove themselves. They're looking to show that they are valuable players that deserve to go into the high levels, into higher echelon of play once the league franchises.
Absolutely. And for me, if we see H2O just stick together as a roster, lo and behold, we see roster changes. I really don't want to see roster changes from this team. I think their skill, their quality is going to come from being able to play with each other more. Once you have the likes of Alex, who's been able to find his consistency, once you have the likes of Jaff, who is able to find his consistency, then that's when this team is really going to pop off. And I think they are just like 1 or 2 hurdles away from becoming a serious contender in this tournament.
Very serious contender. Oh, I wish there was a 3rd season of Polaris, man. I really would. Yeah. Because we can see development take place. And if you compare H2O to the run last season, mega difference. Although you have to say they had to align this roster completely, scratch it up, go for a completely new project. And to be fair, it was very late to start. It was a very late sort of bloom for them and weren't hitting the heights they wanted from the beginning. Of course, the competition is fierce in Northern Europe. But I'm glad they were able to do it at the end. Albeit not in playoffs. It's something. It's something. It can leave us happy today. And proving everybody wrong, right? Look at all of the talent voting against them, right? It's not exactly a vote, it's a prediction. Nobody thought they would win.
Guilty as charged.
The first versus the 7th team of the league. Who's going to win it? Crazy.
Yeah, and the fact that they were able to just deliver is incredible. I'm really looking forward to this interview with Fake Ananas. I wonder if, particularly when it comes to Finest, I wonder if there was actually some Achilles heel, as you mentioned, which H2O were able to discover, or if it was instead that H2O just played out their mind to the point where it didn't matter what Finest actually did.
It did feel like it kind of was a little bit of both, right? It did feel like Alex had a standout performance, Fake Ananas had his moments.
Yeah.
Like overall, there was consistency on the rest of the players as well. While some missteps from Finest. I do think that Haven, on the one hand, was a little bit not well under control for Finest. Let's be fair, right? It didn't seem like they were taking too much space early on, not really begging for that information, didn't feel too comfortable to play aggressive, always seemed very fallen back, and the coordination just wasn't there. So I think H2O just were feeling it straight from the bat today. They came into this with nothing to lose, and they just did a splendid job. But it'd be great to hear it, you're right, from the actual players themselves.
That absolutely would be. Now, for me, H2O, they've got to go to that provincial tournament. Do you think that they qualify again for this league, or do you think that there's a world where they get eliminated?
Oh, for sure. They could definitely make it in again. They've done it already. They've done it twice already. But we do have the interview ready, and it's Fake Ananas with us on the broadcast. Congratulations, man. Nice shirt, by the way, and an excellent victory.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
It was an excellent start, man. Obviously, we would have wished to see that performance earlier on in this tournament. But why do you think you had such a good performance today up against what was ranked the best team in the league right now?
I think it just comes down to the fact that we played our game. Like, we had nothing else to lose, we had nothing to gain, and we just went there. We had fun. You know, it wasn't really a special preparation for this. It was just us being relaxed, actually, and just showing what we're made of. And that's basically, I think, what pushed it through the series.
To talk about that final map of Ascent, what has caused you to move away from the Sky and bring in the KO instead? Is it a comfort thing or something to keep up with the meta?
The last week we actually just tried a different composition to see how it would work. Obviously, like we didn't play it properly, but I don't think it was the bad composition. But then for this week we just went back to the comfort, and it's just worked for us.
Well, I've got to say, a really good performance from all the squad, and including you. Some standout moments for you. I think it begs the question as well, what's next for the team? What's next for the squad? Obviously, Polaris, that tournament is now over. What are your projections for the near future?
There's nothing like really settled in, like set in stone yet. There's a good chance that we're gonna split because like we're not under an organization. Like we're just gonna look for opportunities. But if there's gonna be like a next season where you can look for us to come back even.
Have any of you got existing offers from organizations, or you're not allowed to say?
I'm not sure if I can say,
Okay.
but there are some talks going on.
Yeah, fair enough. It'd be unwise of orgs for there not to be talks with you guys. You guys are very talented, and it seems you do put in the work in, and it seems that you can perform, finally, getting a good win in here. So I hope to see a lot more of that. I'd be happy to see you guys together or alone. I wish you guys the best of success. Congratulations on today, and I wish to see more.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, well, thanks for the interview, Fekan and Nas. Lovely speaking with you. All right, well, that was it for the first match. Kremer, any closing remarks?
The fact that was game 1 is incredible, and it's quite sad actually to hear that H2O might be splitting. Considering the improvement they showed over the last couple of weeks, that is soul crushing. Hopefully they find an org. Hopefully they find a way to stick together. And now for the future, on the topic of the future, Pavlos, we have got a hell of a match. We have got Heat taking on Excel.
Yeah, one of the two teams already solidified their spot into playoffs, that is Excel. The Heat are still fighting for survival for either that third or fourth spot. They are looking to be at the bottom of the 4 teams competing for those 2 spots. So a lot to do, no margin for error. If they lose this match, their hopes are over. Pete, good luck. You're going to need it. We're going to be back after a short break. See you then, everybody.
Last player standing.
They're gonna be shivering their timbers.
Guys, please focus up. Let's go. Let's come.
Yeah, let's get it. Well, 5 seconds, let's go!
As much space as possible. Make sure that human tripwires can't get in. Robbie misses the head and Vicious finds 2.
Last must see.
Oh my god, what is Robbie doing?
Oh, lordy.
Yeah.
Maybe he can't do much more than that, but there's 1. 1 utilised, 2 utilised. Can he do more with the headhunter?
Race.
To win this.
Jed's already picked out 2. Yasmin's got a 3rd. It's all falling apart for human tripwires, who are now just trying to find any side control.
That's the fucking worst thing they can do in this life.
On my TP side.
Up C.
His side. I'll stand default.
Go. That was probably the worst they could do, like...
Nice.
one, man.
Off backside. Nice, Robin.
Walking.
I'm mining. 1 more.
Nice!
Let's go. Really good fucking recovery, guys. Okay.
Let's go, boys.
Let's go.
Not expecting anything from us.
I'm expecting to win.
Yeah, tap it.
I tapped it. He can see it though.
New box.
New box 1 HP. New box 1 HP.
Nice!
What the
fuck
are you doing, bro?
What the? Oi.
Oh, Devo. He's waiting.
1,
Shh, wait,
2,
wait.
3.
Devo! Okay, chill. Take a breather, bro.
With the Esmond holding up in heaven.
Devo needs to show.
Rafter, maybe.
Behind, yeah.
Rotate back round to B if he wants. I think he's just going to cut noise and wait. He wants this ace. He wants to kill Sutma here. And he's just round the corner.
Okay, feel the let's go. We win this.
That was the best play of the tournament. Good job, bro.
Oh my god, we have momentum now.
One is B7, one is 105. Nice.
Nice,
GG. Well played, alle.
Oh my god, let's go, boys.